ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. Dear devotees of ISKCON of Round Rock, I am so sorry I am not able to be with you in person. I was very much looking forward to being there with all of you and participating in the grand installation of Shri Nrsimhadev Bhagwan and Shri Giriraj. But as it is said, we propose, man proposes, and Krishna disposes. So, whatever Krishna desires, but through all the uncertainties of life, we should push forward and carry on with our bhakti and not be discouraged. So I am very encouraged that all of you are accepting my service, even though I am not there in person. So today is the auspicious occasion of the installation of Sri Nrsimhadev Bhagwan. And in this regard, I would like to share something very beautiful from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrit by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj. We'll discuss about the glories of Lord Sri Narasimhadev. And whatever I will be speaking, it is exclusively from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrit of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj, Adi Leela, chapter 17, entitled The Pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his youth. And everything will be based on the beautiful translations and purports of our beloved, revered founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Shri Srimad Abhay Charanarvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Eka Dina Prabhu Shri Vasere Ajna Dila Brihat Sahasra Nam Parshuni Te Manhaila. Dear devotees, we are in Navadvip, the eternal abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And just like Sri Krishna was born in Mathura as the son of Sri Vasudev Maharaj and Mother Devaki Devi, however, Sri Krishna performed the best, most attractive pastimes of his Leela in Shri Vrindavan Dham, away from Mathura, in Shri Vrindavan Dham, as Nandanandan, Yashodanandan Krishna, as the son of Mother Yashoda and Shri Nanda Baba. Shri Krishna performed his most relishable, sweetest pastimes in Shri Gokul Vrindavan. He was born in Mathura but performed his pastimes in Shri Vrindavan Dham. Similarly, my dear friends of ISKCON of Round Rock, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born at Yogapith in the house of Shri Jagannath Mishra and Shri Shachi Mata. However, he performed some of his most beautiful, wonderful, sweet, attractive pastimes in Shri Shrivas Angan, the house of Srila Shrivas Thakur. So one day at Shrivas Angan, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Shrivas Thakur that I feel like hearing Shri Vishnu Sahasranam. Actually, it was the Shraddha ceremony of the grandparents of Shrivas Thakur. Shrivas Thakur was observing Shraddha ceremony for his ancestors, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was participating. At that time, he was called Nimai Pandit. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who had already been initiated by Sri Ishwarpuri Maharaj in Gayadham, and he had manifested himself fully as the greatest Vaishnav this world had ever seen. He was the life and soul of the devotees headed by Srila Srivas Thakur. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Srivas Thakur that please read Shri Vishnu Sahasranam. I have a desire to hear it. पढ़िते आईला स्तवे नरसिंहेरा नाम शुनिया आविष्ट हैला Prabhu Gauradham. In obedience to the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, our dear Srila Srivas Thakur, he began reading Shri Vishnu Sahasranam. And while reading the Vishnu Sahasranam, reciting the Vishnu Sahasranam, Srila Srivas Thakur came to the section of Shri Vishnu Sahasranam where there is the holy name of Shri Nrsimhadev Bhagwan. Stave Nrsimhera Nam. And as soon as Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard the holy name of Shri Nrsimhadev Bhagwan, Shunya Avishtahila Prabhu Gauradham. Shri Gaurarai, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he became overwhelmed with ecstasy just by hearing the name of Shri Nrsimhadev. Nrsimha Aveshe Prabhu Hate Gadalaya Pashandi Marite Jaye Nagare Dhaiya. As soon as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he heard the name, the sweet holy name, Shri Nrsimhadev, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went into Nrsimha Avesh. Parama Karuna Pahudvijana Nitai Gaura Chandra Saba Avatar Sara Shiromani Kevala Ananda Kanda. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the source of all incarnations, including Sri Nrsimhadev. And therefore, when he heard the name Sri Nrsimhadev, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went into the ecstatic mood of being Lord Nrsimhadev. And in the mood of Lord Nrsimhadev, he picked up one gada. He took a gada in his hand and he started running around in the town of Nadia, saying, Pashandi Marite, I will kill all the wicked, sinful people who give trouble to the devotees. Anyone who troubles my devotees, I will annihilate that person. And he started running around in the entire town of Nadia. Haribol. How many of you would like to see Sri Nrsimhadev? Gaura Nrsimhadev. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of Sri Nrsimhadev. Haribol. Nrsimha Avesha Dekhi Mahatejomaye Path Chhadi Bhage Loka Paya Bada Bhai. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was running around the town of Nadia, holding a gada in his hand. Where are the Pashandis? Where are the Pashandis? Where are the people who are giving trouble to my devotees? I will destroy them. When he was running around in great anger in the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was effulgent, Mahatejomay. When people saw the Narsimha form of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Narsimha Avesh of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu in the mood of Sri Narsimhadev, people left the road. They made way for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Patha chhadi. They ran away here and there out of great fear. Bada bhai. Loka bhaya dekhi prabhur bhaya haila. Shrivasa grihete giya gada phelaila. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu noticed that he is invoking fear in the hearts of all the devotees, all the residents of Nadia, he became very embarrassed and he came to his external consciousness. He gave up his Narsimha Avesh and he returned to the house of Srila Srivas Thakur. Shrivasa Grihete Giya. After Bhaya Haila, he came to external consciousness and Mahaprabhu Gada Phelaila. He put the Gada away. Shrivase kahe na Prabhu kariya vishad Loka bhaya paya mora haya aparad. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then told Srila Srivas Thakur, oh Srivas, what did I do? What did I do? Unnecessarily, I went into the mood of Sri Nrsimhadev. I was running around in the mood of Sri Nrsimhadev. Everyone saw me and they became fearful. Seeing my power, my effulgence, my anger, they became fearful. And because I invoked fear in the hearts of innocent people, I have become an offender. Loka bhaya paya mora haya aparad. Because I gave fear to people, Instead of giving joy to people, Ananda Lila Maya Vigrahaya, Hemava Divya Chavi Sundaraya, Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya, Sri Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. I'm supposed to give joy to others, Ananda Vigraha, but I gave them fear. So I have committed a great offense. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Kare Vishad. He was lamenting. Shrivasa bale na je tomara naam laye. Tara koti aparadha sabha kshay. Aha. Srila Srivas Thakur retorted by saying, no, 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 Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you have not committed any offense. You are not an aparadhi. In fact, anyone who chants your name, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Gaura Hari, Shri Gaura Rai, Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, anyone who chants your name, जे तुम्हारा नाम लय, तारा कोटि अपराध सब है क्षय. Their millions and millions of offenses are destroyed. Just by taking your name, millions and millions of offenses are destroyed. Oh Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how can you commit any aparadh? No, 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 no. You have not committed any aparadh. अपराध नाही कैले लोकेर निस्तार जे तो मा देखिला तार छुटिला संसार हरि बोल. In fact, just now when you were running in Narsimha Avesh, in the mood of Shri Narsimha Dev, you're running along the streets of Nadia. Anyone who saw that form of yours, je toma dekhila, tara chutila samsar, that person has become liberated. That person will not have to suffer in this material world because you gave your auspicious darshan to them. हरि बोल. नगरिया लोके प्रभु जबे आज्ञा दिला घरे घरे संकीर्तन करिते लागिला. Later on, our Prananath, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave instructions to all the people of the world, specifically his associates in Sri Navadvip Dham, that it is my instruction to all of you, if you have faith in me, all of you in every home of Nadia, you should do Krishna Sankirtan. You should do Krishna Sankirtan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dhana Pran. You take this instruction of mine. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally instructed everyone. If you love me, then please chant the names of Krishna. Please worship Krishna. Shuna Shuna Nityananda, Shuna Haridas. Amar Agya Tumi Kariya Prakash. He called Shri Haridas Thakur. He called Shri Nityananda Prabhu and gave them instruction. You go and spread this message of mine everywhere. Grihe Grihe Pratigehe Koro Ei Bhiksha. Bolo Krishna Bhaja Krishna Karo Krishna Shiksha. You go and give this message to every household that please worship Krishna, chant Krishna's name, and preach about Krishna. In this way, Ghare Ghare Sankirtan Karite Lagera. In this way, all the people of Navadvip, they started doing Harinam Sankirtan. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu specifically preached the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is mentioned in Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Mahashaya's magnum opus, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. Previously it was called as Sri Chaitanya Mangal. Now it is called Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. In Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, specifically the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is mentioned. In two different places it is mentioned, Adi Khanda and Madhya Khanda. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu specifically said that chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Shola Nam Battish Akshar Ei Mahamantra, Mahaprabhu said. There are 32 syllables and 16 names in this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. 8 names of Srimati Radharani, 8 names of Shri Krishna. Please chant. Hare Krishna means Radha Krishna, Hare Ram means Radha Raman. And in addition to Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also propagated the chanting of these names. Haraye Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopala Govinda Rama Shri Madhusudana. So everywhere people were chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra and Haraye Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama Gopala Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana. मृदंग करताल संकीर्तन महाध्वनि हरि हरि ध्वनि विना अन्य नाही शुनि. हरि बोल. And this preaching of Sri Harinam Sankirtan spread so powerfully, so vigorously, so completely in Navadvip that other than the holy names of Lord Hari, other than Harinam, Anya dhvani nahi shuni. One could not hear anything else. Everybody was chanting Harinam. In the marketplace, if someone wanted to buy some pots and pans, they would say Haribol, 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 Hare Krishna, like that. Everything, even in Vyavhar, they were all chanting Harinam. Everyone became chanters of Hare Krishna Mahamantra and Harinam. And they would congregate together and taking kartals and mridangas, they would do Mahadhvani Harinam Sankirtan, loud Harinam Sankirtan they would do. Everywhere there was tumultuous chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Shuni aje kruddha haila sakala yavan, kaji pashe asi sobe kaila nivedan. Hearing this loud Harinam Sankirtan, some people who were meat eaters, who were opposed to Vaishnava principles, they became upset and they went to the local magistrate called Qazi and they submitted a request to the local magistrate Qazi. Please remember, this is happening around 520 something years ago, around 520 years ago from today in West Bengal, India. At that time, most of Bharat, India, was ruled by the Sultan from Delhi and Agra. The Badshah, the Sultan was ruling major parts of the Indian subcontinent. And it was their government and their local princely king was called Nawab, and the judicial head who would make the decisions and give punishment, met out punishment to the criminals was called Qazi. In today's terms, like the magistrate. People who were meat eaters, who were opposed to Vaishnava principles, they went to the Qazi and lodged a complaint. क्रोधे संध्या काले काजी एक घरे आइला मृदंग भांगिया लोके कहते लागिला. They told the Qazi that these devotees, Hindus, they are coming together and they are loudly chanting the names of the Hindu gods. So one evening, Sandhya Kale, this Qazi, in great anger, Krodhe, he went to the house of a devotee, and there, sure enough, he found some devotees. They were having a program, Sankirtan program. So he chastised them, and he, in great anger, broke a mridanga. Hare Krishna. He went and broke the mridanga, and everyone got very scared. And then he told the devotees, the Qazi told the devotees, Eta kala keha nahi kaila hinduyani, ebeje udyama chala karabala jani. I have been the magistrate for a long time. None of you Hindus were so audacious to perform loud chanting of the holy names of your Hindu gods. But I see nowadays you all have become very bold and loudly all are chanting the names of the Hindu gods Krishna, Ram, Hari. You are doing this on whose strength? Karabola Jani. Who is giving you this strength? Who is giving you this audacity? Who is supporting you? On whose strength are you doing this Harinam Sankirtan? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. It appears that from the aggression of Bakhtiyar Khilji, who first invaded Bengal, in Bengal until the time of Chamkazi, which was around 520 years ago, Hindus means the followers of the Vedic principles. Those who follow the Vedas are called Hindus, were greatly suppressed. So for a long time, during the rule of Bakhtiyar Khilji all the way to Chamkazi, the Hindus were suppressed very much. Like the Hindus in present day Pakistan, practically no one could execute the Hindu religious principles freely. Chamkazi referred to this condition of Hindu society when he said that previously y'all were not having such courage? How come you have become so audacious and publicly performing Harinam Sankirtan? Formerly, the Hindus had not been very open. Straightforward means very open in executing the Hindu principles. But now they were freely chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Openly, they were chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Publicly, they were chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Therefore, it must have been by the strength of someone else that they were so daring. केह कीर्तन ना करी सकल नगरे आजी आमी क्षमा करी जाइते छो घरे. Listen, the first time, so I'm forgiving you all. I'm letting you all go. आजी आमी क्षमा करी, I'm forgiving you all. And जाइते छो घरे, I'm going to my home. But it is my order. केह कीर्तन ना करी No one will do kirtan. Sakala nagare. In the entire township, no one should dare to do kirtan. आर जदि कीर्तन करीते लाग पाइमो सर्वस्व दंडिया तार जाति जे लाइमो. And if any of you dares to do kirtan again, I will punish the whole family. Sarvasva dandiya. All the culprits who are found loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra or loudly chanting the names of the Hindu gods, I will dandiya. I will give danda. I will punish you. And tara jati je laimu. And I will forcefully sprinkle my jhuta water on you. And I will make you, convert you from Hindu dharma to my dharma. I will take away your Hindu religion from you. I will convert you into the religion of the invaders, the rulers. Purport. Srila Prabhupada writes, such orders stopping Sankirtan in the streets of the world's great cities has been imposed upon members of the Hare Krishna movement. We have hundreds of centers all over the world, and we have been specifically persecuted in Australia. You see, Srila Prabhupada is writing this purport in the 1970s, and these things happened at that time. Srila Prabhupada continues, in most cities of the Western world, we have been arrested many times by the police. But we are nevertheless executing the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by chanting on the streets of all the important cities such as New York, London, Chicago, Sydney, Melbourne, Paris, and Hamburg. Hamburg is where? Maybe somewhere in Europe, I don't know. Must be a major city. We must remember that such incidents took place in the past, 500 years ago. This is happening 500 years ago. Same thing what is happening now. Sometimes there is opposition. Now we see in Bangladesh, there is much opposition. In certain countries, there is much opposition to the devotees. Srila Prabhupada says this is not new. It was happening 500 years ago also. And the fact that they are still going on indicates that our Sankirtan movement is really authorized. For if Sankirtan were an insignificant material affair, the demons would not object to it. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada says that the fact that we are being opposed by the governments in certain places proves that we are in parampara. Evam parampara praptam. It proves that we are in parampara because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also faced opposition. We are also facing opposition, means we are authorized. We are doing the same thing what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. And if we were some material organization, something insignificant, these materialistic demons would not oppose. But they are opposing because what we are doing is something spiritual, something that is authorized by the parampara. The demons of the time tried to obstruct the Sankirtan movement started by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Similar demons are trying to obstruct the Sankirtan movement we are executing all over the world. And this proves that our Sankirtan movement is still pure and genuine, following in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Haribol. Eta balika jigela nagariya loka prabhusthane nivedila paya boda shoka. When the Qazi suddenly appeared in the Sankirtan festival, broke the mridanga, chastised the devotees, and banned them from publicly chanting the holy names of Krishna, the devotees became very sad. Paya bada shoka. And in their sorrow, after the Qazi left, all the devotees, they went to Mahaprabhu's thane and they submitted their plight to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard of the plight and distress of the devotees, प्रभु आज्ञा दिल जहा करह कीर्तन मुई संहारी मु आजी सकल यवन हरि बोल श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु like a lion he roared go all of you go करह कीर्तन do कीर्तन मुई संहारी मु आज सकल यवन and let these yavans comes I will annihilate all of them I will kill all these yavans who give trouble to all of you go and do kirtan do not be afraid Hare Krishna. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, it is not necessary to commit violence to stop the opposition from hindering a movement. For one can kill their demoniac behavior with reason and argument. Dear devotees, this is a very important section of the purport. Kindly pay attention. Srila Prabhupada says we don't have to resort to violence. We can kill their demoniac behavior with reason and argument. We can have a civil debate, discussion with them, and convince them to allow us to practice our dharma, Jaiva dharma, the dharma of the Jiva, soul, which is devotion to Krishna. Jivera Swarubhai Krishnera Nityadas. Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhakti Radhokshaje. Following in the footsteps of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whenever there are obstacles, the Hare Krishna movement should kill the opposition with reason and argument, not with violence necessarily, with reason and argument, and thus stop their demoniac behavior. If we become violent in every case, it would be difficult for us to manage our affairs. It's not a sustainable thing that we just resort to violence and start fighting anybody who opposes us. No. We should fight with reason and argument because primarily we are a movement of Brahmanas. And Brahmanas, they engage in samvad. They don't resort to violence. Of course, sometimes we need Kshatriyas also for protection. Srila Prabhupada is making a general statement that our default setting should be that we engage in debate and discussion and push forward our movement with reason, logic, and argument. And violence is always last resort. We should therefore follow in the footsteps of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who disobeyed the order of Chandkazi but subdued him with reason and argument. घरे गिया सब लोक करये कीर्तन काजीर भय स्वच्छंद है चमकी तमन. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered all the devotees, don't you worry, go and do kirtan. I am there. If any demons try to attack you, I will personally destroy them. So the devotees, they had faith in the words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They again became confident and they started doing kirtan again. But it was not like before. It was not as loud as before. It was not as public as before. It was not as visible as before. Chamakitaman. They were doing it, but with hesitation. The back of their mind, they were fearful of the Kazi. So it was not Swachhanda. It was not free-flowing kirtan. It was restricted kirtan. Because they were afraid of the Kazi. Kajiro bhaye. तासबार अंतर भय प्रभु मने जानी कहते लागिला लोके शीघ्र डाकी आनी. Hare Krishna. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw how these devotees were doing kirtan in a very restricted way, he understood that that was so because of the fear that they had in their heart for the Kazi. They were afraid of the government. Antare bhaya. Prabhu mane jani. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood that they are afraid. They are still afraid. Despite my reassurance, they are still afraid that the Kazi will come back with the soldiers and punish them. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spread the word that go, call everyone. I want to convey a meeting. I want to convey in a meeting. So he called a meeting and he gave instructions. Nagare nagare aji karimu kirtan. Sandhyakale kara sabe nagara mandan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spread the message to all the devotees that come on, today we will have a Kirtan festival. And not just in Nadia, but all the villages of the nine islands, all the townships will gather here and we will have a Nagar Sankirtan festival and decorate the whole township. So, a Nagara Mandan. Mandan means decorate the township because we are having a Kirtan festival. Haribol. How when we go for Sadhu Sangha, there is decorations and everything. The whole atmosphere is created. There is a divine ambience for Kirtan. Similarly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, create a nice ambience, create nice atmosphere, arrange decoration so we can have Kirtan festival. Sandhyate deute sabe, ज्वाल घरे घरे देखो कोनो काजी आसी मोरे माना करे. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, and in the evening when it gets dark, I want all of you to hold a torch in your hand. Torch means in Hindi we call it mashal, torch, a burning flame in your hand. When it becomes dark, I want all of you to hold a flame in your hand. And everyone come together. Every household should bring one torch. We'll come together. And I will see which Kazi has the guts to forbid us from performing Harinam Sankirtan. I will see. देखा मैं I'll see. कौन काजी आसी मोरे मना करे. देखता हूं आज कौन काजी में साहस है मुझे मना करने का. Mahaprabhu said, I will see who can forbid me. एतो कही संध्या काले चले गौर राय कीर्तनेर कैला प्रभु तीन संप्रदाय. And millions and millions and millions and millions of people joined. It is described by Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. This is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, but this Leela is described in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat also. Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur says, all the people, the youth, the strong men, the old people, the children, the ladies, everyone, without any distinction, participated. Everybody was so enthusiastic. Everyone has such love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They all assembled and everyone was carrying a mashal. They were ready. They were carrying the torch. And it is said, even the demigods took human form and they participated in this Nagar Sankirtan, huge, magnificent Nagar Sankirtan, massive Nagar Sankirtan, massive civil disobedience movement. 500 years, 400 years before Gandhiji started the civil disobedience movement. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the pioneer of civil disobedience movement. The devatas, the demigods also participated. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur says no one can count. And they were so enthusiastic. They all got ready as if they're getting ready for a festival. And they took these torches and they marched with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to participate in the Nagar Sankirtan, the congregational chanting of the holy names. It is described by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur that they did not even bother to close the doors of their homes. All the residents of all the villages and towns, they joined Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, leaving their homes open. The doors and the windows of their homes were wide open. And it is described that the thieves and robbers were watching. That everyone has left their home and they have not even bothered to close the doors and windows. Their homes are open. We can just walk into any home and steal anything we want. There's no one to watch, no one to stop. So they were having a field day. They were so happy. This is our biggest occasion to earn wealth. So all the thieves and robbers, they came together and enthusiastically they went to the homes of the people as they were leaving. But the people were chanting Harinam so loudly. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing such loud Harinam Sankirtan that they heard. And they became curious. What singing is this? We have never heard this before. Let us go and find out. Just 2 minutes we'll go and see what's going on. So just for a couple of minutes, these robbers and thieves, out of sheer curiosity, they also went and joined the Harinam Sankirtan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Mahashaya describes they were so fascinated. They were so enamored by the beauty of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Gaura Rai. Their hearts were so captivated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's sweet singing and dancing that they gave up their profession of thievery and robbery, and they became pure devotees then and there. And they begged for some torches, and they also joined Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Haribol! Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw millions and millions of devotees have come. So he created three groups, Tina Sampradaya. Purport. Srila Prabhupada writes, during Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, one kirtan party was composed of 21 devotees. Four devotees playing mridangas. One devotee is the lead singer, chanter. 16 devotees are playing kartals. So 4 mridangas and 16 kartals. So 4 kartals for each mridanga. Total 21 devotees. One is the lead singer, and everyone else who are playing the kartals, they are responding. Call, response, call, response. They are responding to the lead chanter. If many men join the Sankirtan movement, they may follow in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and form different parties according to time and the number of devotees available. Hari Bol. Because remember, in those days, no sound system. आगे संप्रदाय नृत्य करे हरिदास मध्य नाचे आचार्य गोसाई परम उल्लास. The first sampradaya means the group of devotees doing kirtan together, was led by Srila Haridas Thakur, who was also dancing. The second sampradaya was led by Sri Advaita Acharya, who was supremely jubilant in this Harinam Sankirtan, Nagar Sankirtan. पाछे संप्रदाय नृत्य करे गौर चंद्र तारो संगे नाची भूले प्रभु नित्यानंद. The third sampradaya, the lead singer and dancer was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. He was dancing ecstatically and he was accompanied by Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Bhajo bhajo bhai Sri Chaitanya Nitai. এই মত কীর্তন করি নগরে ভ্রমিলা ভ্রমিতে ভ্রমিতে সবে কাজী দ্বারে গেলা. Haribol. In this way, all the devotees in three groups, they were doing loud Nagar Sankirtan. They were going everywhere, every lane, every road, every marketplace. And in this way, traveling. And wherever they went, they collected people. Everyone joined in, even the thieves and robbers. Brahmite Brahmite, going like that. From lane to lane, town to town, marketplace to marketplace. Finally, this huge, humongous crowd of devotees, hundreds and thousands of them, devotees, they finally assembled at the house of the Qazi. Hare Krishna. गर्ज गर्ज करे लोक करे कोलाहल गौरचंद्र बले लोक प्रश्रय पागल. By the influence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the devotees became so enthusiastic. They were loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It became tumultuous, almost transcendently chaotic. And they were each devotee was roaring like a lion. They were so empowered. Kirtanera dhvanite kaji lukaila ghare tarjana garjana shuni nahaya bahire. Hearing the loud kirtan of the thousands and thousands of devotees who surrounded the house, the mansion of the Qazi hid himself inside his house. Kaji lukaila ghare. Lukaila means he hid himself. And outside, the devotees were roaring in tumultuous kirtan. Tarjana garjana shuni nahay bahire. And the Qazi was so scared, he could not dare to come out. उद्धट लोक भांगे काजीर घर पुष्पवन विस्तारी वर्णिला इहा दास वृंदावन. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj writes that Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Mahashaya has described this pastime. Vistari Varnila has done a detailed, elaborate description of this pastime in his book, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. How the devotees were upset that Qazi was not coming out to meet them, to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they started destroying the mansion of the Qazi. and they started destroying the flower garden, Pushpavan. They started destroying his lawn, his plants, everything. But he was not coming out. तबे महाप्रभु तार द्वारे ते बसिला भव्य लोक पाठाइया काजिरे बोलाइला. At that time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the door of the Kazi, and his leading associates came to the balcony, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told them, "Go and call the Kazi. We want to meet the Kazi." The mansion was surrounded by thousands and thousands of people holding torches. Hare Krishna. I was supposed to take a break here. Hare Krishna. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Dura haite aila kaji matha noy aila kaji re vasaila prabhu sammana kariya. Finally, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent for the Kazi, go and call the Kazi. The servants and associates, they informed Kazi that there is no way you can escape. We are surrounded. The whole mansion is surrounded by thousands and thousands of people. They are each as strong as lion. I don't know where they are getting their empowerment from. They are roaring. They are holding torches in their hand. They can just set our whole mansion ablaze if they want to. There is no escaping. You better come out. So the Qazi, extremely scared, he was giving fear to the devotees. Now he's scared. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. This is what happens when we trouble the devotees. Ravan set Hanumanji's tail on fire. Hare Krishna. What was the effect? What was the result? His own palace got burnt. His own Lanka got burnt. Kazi came out. Matha Noyaiya. But he was so scared, so ashamed. He hung his head low and he came out. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very courteous. Kajire Vasaila Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu told him, Kazi, come sit down, sit down. Let's have a conversation. Mahaprabhu was very respectful. Sammana Kariya. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, some of the men in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's civil disobedience movement were agitated because they could not control their minds. But Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was thoroughly peaceful, sober, and unagitated. Very important, dear devotees. This is very important. This is how we should present ourselves. We should be controlled. We should not be rowdy and agitated. We should be peaceful, respectful, sober, unagitated. Therefore, when the Qazi came down to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord offered him a proper respect and seat. Offered him a seat and offered him proper respect because he was a respectable government officer. Thus, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us by his personal behavior. Apane shikhaila Prabhu. In pushing on our Sankirtan movement of Krishna consciousness, we might have to face difficult days, but we should always follow in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and do the needful according to time and circumstances. So generally, Srila Prabhupada is saying we should be non-violent. We should push forward Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement with logic and reason. And when we do that, we should be respectful, self-controlled, unagitated, and sober in our behavior. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told the Qazi, come and sit down. I want to have a conversation with you. Let's have a samvad. So, dear devotees, there are three types of debates that Srila Jiva Goswami writes in the Priti Sandarbha. There is Vad, there is Jalpa, and there is Vitanda. Vad is in the mode of goodness, what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing, where we sit down and we respectfully discuss. We come with an open mind. We don't have any bias or prejudice. We come with an open mind. The aim is to figure out the truth. That is Vad or Samvad. It's the best type of discussion or debate. It is done by people in the mode of goodness. And it is what we should do. We hear each other out, we don't interrupt each other, we express our opinions, we quote from authorities, and the aim is not to win. The aim is to establish the truth. That is called Vad. Second is Jalpa. Jalpa means we simply want to vent, we want to interrupt, we want to encroach on the speaking time of the other person. And it is indulged in by people in the mode of passion, Rajogun. They just want to blah, 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 speak and download. They just want to be heard. Sometimes you see those type of debate where people grab the mic and when the moderator is saying, okay, your time is up, blah, 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 listen, blah, 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 they interrupt, they speak over each other. That is called Jalpa. It is in the mode of passion. There you just want to be heard. You just want to be heard. You don't respect the other person. The third type of debate and discussion is called Vitanda. It is indulged in by people in the mode of ignorance. It's the worst type of debate. And there, the person in Vitanda does not care about the truth. The person simply cares about winning. And in such debates and discussions, the persons will attack each other's personal character. They will make personal remarks. They will slander. They will lie. They have nothing to do with the truth. They simply want to win. And this is the third type of debate. It's the worst one. Many times we see it. Even some presidential debates are like that, unfortunately. But what Vaishnavas participate in is Vad. It is with the aim of figuring out the truth, finding out the truth. There is no fixed agenda. There is no prejudice. And it is based on Shastra. It is based on authoritative literature. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to not have Jalpa, not have Vitanda. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to have a Vad. He wanted to have a respectful debate with the Qazi. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began, Prabhu bole ami tomara elam abhyagat, ami dekhi lukaiya e dharma kemat. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I am your abhyagat, I am your guest. And instead of welcoming me, you are hiding yourself. What kind of dharma is this? E dharma kemat. What type of religion is this? That you don't even come and meet the guest? काजी कहे तुम्ही ऐसा क्रुद्ध हैया तुम्हा शांत कराइते रहिनु लुखाइया. Chand Kazi replied that when you came here, you seemed to be in great anger. Therefore, I was hiding myself, waiting for your anger to subside. Shanta karaite rohinu lukhaya. I remained hidden until your anger subsided. Ebe তুমি শান্ত হইলে আসিমি লীলা ভাগ্য মোর তোমাহে না অতিথি পাইলা. But now you have become peaceful. Therefore, I have come to meet you. And by the way, bhagya mora, it is my great good fortune. Tomahe na atithi paila. It is my great fortune that I have obtained a very exalted guest like your good self. Chand Kazi told Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why do you say so? ग्राम संबंधे चक्रवर्ती हय मोर चाचा देह संबंध हईते हय gram sambandha shacha. Chand Kazi said, according to our village tradition, Gram Sambandhe, Sri Nilambar Chakravarti, your maternal grandfather, is my chacha. He is my uncle because I belong to the same village as Sri Nilambar Chakravarti. So he is elder to me. We are from the same village. So in the village, I call him chacha, uncle. And you are his grandson. So your grandfather is my uncle. And by the way, this Gram Sambandha, village relationship, is more sacha, is stronger than Deha Sambandha. Deha Sambandha Haite means more than blood relation. Gram Sambandh, the village relationship is more sacha, is more well established, which means we are really, by village culture, village tradition, we are relatives. And that village tradition is stronger than blood relatives. नीलांबर चक्रवर्ती है तोमार नाना से संबंधे हो तुम्ही आमार भागीना. Shri Nilambar Chakravarti, your maternal grandfather, is my chacha. And because he's your grandfather, he's my chacha, that means you are my nephew. You are my nephew. भागीनार क्रोध मामा अवश्य सहय मातुलेर अपराध भागीना न लय. And because you are my nephew and I'm your uncle, a uncle doesn't take the offense of the nephew very seriously, and the nephew doesn't take the offense of the uncle very seriously. Bhagina means the nephew. Krodha mama avashya sahay. If the nephew gets angry at the mama, the maternal uncle tolerates. And matuler aparad, and maternal uncle's offense, bhagina na lay. The nephew doesn't consider. Okay, ठीक है, forget it. After all, he's my mama. He's my maternal uncle. प्रभु कहे प्रश्न लागे आइला तोमार स्थाने काजी कहे आज्ञा कर जे तोमार मने. When Kazi was very courteous and he established this relationship between them, that you are my nephew, I am your maternal uncle. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, all right, that's very good. Now we have a relationship, there is Sambandha, that's excellent. We have a village relationship, Gram Sambandha, which you are saying is more important than Deha Sambandha. Okay, good, I accept that. However, Ailama Tomara Sthane, I have come to your house, Prashna Lagi, for the sake of asking you a Prashna, a question. I have a question for you. Chand Kazi replied, Kazi kahe, Agya kara, je tomara mane. Please, please tell me, what is it that you want to ask me? प्रभु कहे गो दुग्ध खाओ गाभी तोमार माता वृष अन्न उपजाए ताते te ho pita. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come there because Chankazi has opposed Harinam Sankirtan. But just see how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu begins the samvad, begins the respectful debate. It's very important for all of us to understand this because in our Krishna consciousness movement, two things are important, achar and prachar. We have to practice Krishna consciousness, become Krishna conscious, and we have to share our good fortune with others. When we share, there will be discussions and debates. And we have to remember, we do not want to indulge in jalpa, we do not want to indulge in vitanda. We want to engage in vad. And how to do that, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing. This is an excellent example, excellent case study. So let us be attentive. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not talk about Sankirtan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not talk about threatening of the devotees. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not mention breaking of the mridanga. Kazi spoke about relationship. That your maternal uncle and myself are from the same village. When I was small, I would call Nilambar Chakravarti Chacha, my uncle. You are his grandson. So you are my nephew. I am your uncle. This relationship Chand Kazi establishes. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepts that. And now he continues talking about relationships. Okay, we are speaking about relationships. I accept what you say. You are my uncle. I am your nephew. That is a sambandha. That is a relationship. Now I would like to invoke one more relationship. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Go dugdha khao. You drink the milk of the cow. You use ghee. You drink buttermilk. You eat curd. You eat paneer. You eat milk and milk products. Therefore, Gabhi tomara mata. Therefore, cow is your mother. We drink our mother's milk. Every child drinks the mother's milk. You have drunk cow's milk. So your mother is your mother, and then cow also becomes your mother by the same logic because you drank her milk. All of us have drunk cow's milk. So cow is everybody's mother, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. And Vrisha Anna Upajaya Tate Teho Pita. And Vrisha, the bull works in the farmland, helps in tilling and plowing the soil, and then anna upajaya, there is nice crop with the help of the vrisha, with the help of the bull. And because earning money is primarily the duty of the male member of the family, the husband or the father, because father's duty is to provide for the family, earn money. Therefore, because the bull is helping in earning money, creating harvest, creating crops and prosperity, then the bull, by that logic, becomes Pita, becomes the father. प्रभु कहे गोदुग्ध खाओ गाभी तोमार माता वृष अन्न उपजाए ताते ते हो पिता. Cow is the mother because you drink her milk. Bull is your father because the bull helps produce crops and prosperity. He provides for the family. Therefore, bull is the father. पिता माता मारी खाओ एबा कोण धर्म कोण भले कर तुम्ही एमत विकर्म. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, O Chandkazi, all of you, you kill cows and bulls. Pita mata mari, and you eat their flesh. You kill your father, you kill your mother, you slaughter them, you slit their throat, and you eat their flesh. Eba kon dharma? What kind of religion is this that you are following? Kon balak kar tumi emata vikarma? On whose strength, on whose authorization you are performing this vikarma, these ghastly sins of killing your parents and eating their flesh? That's what all of you are doing. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells the Qazi. કાજી કહે તો માર જાય છે વેદ પુરાણ તઈ છે અમાર શાસ્ત્ર કેતાબ Quran. Chan Kazi says, I was trying to avoid using the term Muslim or Islam, but here it is. So anyway, so it was the Islamic government, as we all know. The Mughals were ruling India. So Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, what kind of religion are you following? You are eating cows and bulls, which are the mother and father. So Chan Kazi replies, Tomara Jaiche Veda Puran, my dear nephew, Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, just like in the Hindu religion, you have Ved and Puran, Shruti and Smriti, Ved and Puran. Taiche Amara Shastra hai a kitab, a book called Quran. Just like you have Vedas and Puranas, we have the Holy Quran. It is our scripture. Purport. Srila Prabhupada says, Chan Kazi agreed to talk with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the strength of the scriptures. Therefore, this conversation is an example of Vad. It is a first class debate and discussion because it is based on scriptures. It is not that someone wants to just express themselves out of passion and be heard. It is not that someone just wants to lie, make personal attacks, and win the debate. That would be Jalpa and Vitanda, respectively. But this is an example of a Vad, a respectful discussion where we are trying to seek out the truth based on authoritative literature. According to the Vedic scripture, if one can support one's position by quoting from the Vedas, then the argument is perfect. Similarly, when the Muslims support their position with quotations from the Holy Quran, their arguments are also authorized. So here very clearly Srila Prabhupada is saying that the Holy Quran is an authoritative book. When the Muslims support their quotations from the original Quran, then their arguments are also authorized, Srila Prabhupada says. And for us, the authority is Tasmad Shastram Pramanante Karya Karya Vyavastita. For us, the Praman is Ved, Quran, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. So now Chan Kazi is responding to the question of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that what kind of religion are you following? You are killing your father and mother and eating their flesh. Chan Kazi says we are following the Quran. In Quran, Sei Shastre means in that kitab called Quran, Sei Shastre kahe pravritti nivritti marga bhed, nivritti marge jiva matra vadhera nishedh. Now Chan Kazi, he was the magistrate, judicial magistrate. He was the judicial head of Nadia. and the government was Muslim, which means to administer justice in a Muslim government, the Qazi has to be well versed in the Muslim scriptures. So Qazi was not just a ordinary person. He was a great scholar of the Quran, of the Islamic faith. So he's saying in our Quran, there are two paths that are described, pravritti and nivritti. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahashaya, in his magnum opus, Shri Jaiva Dharma, describes this philosophy of Islam in great detail. And the similarities with the Bhagavad Dharma are quite striking. Pravritti Nivritti Marg Bhed. There are two paths according to Quran, Pravritti Marg and Nivritti Marg. Nivritti Marge Jiva Matra Vadhera Nished. There are two paths, the path of renunciation and the path of enjoyment. On the Pravritti Par, on the Nivritti Marg, on the path of renunciation, Jivavad, killing and slaughtering of animals is Nished. It is forbidden. According to Quran, those who are on the path of renunciation and making spiritual advancement, for them to kill animals is forbidden. Meat eating, animal slaughter is forbidden in Islam for those who are trying to make spiritual advancement according to the path of renunciation, Nivritti Marg. On the other hand, there are some who are not ready for Nivritti Marg. They have more material desires. For them, there is the regulated process of enjoyment. There is Pravritti Marg. प्रवृत्ति मार्गे गोवध करिते विधि है शास्त्र आज्ञा वध कैले nahi papa bhay. And Chankazi says, according to Quran, there is the pravritti marg for those who are not ready for nivritti marg, and for them govad karite vidhi hai. There is a process according to Quran where cows can be slaughtered on the pravritti marg, not on the nivritti marg, but on the pravritti marg there is a facility for cow slaughter. Shastra Ajna Vadha Kaile, and if one slaughters the cows based on the authority of scriptures, Shastra Ajna, because Shastra Adesh is there, one does it, Shastra Ajna is there. There is permission from the Holy Scripture for Govada, for slaughter of cow. Then Nahi Papa Bhai. Then there is no fear of sins because we are following the dictations of the scriptures. तोमार वेदेते आछे गोवधे रवाणी अतएव गोवध करे बड़ बड़ मुनि. Now see, this is how the debates progress. Chankazi now he explains his position and then he puts a challenge to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says, why are you faulting me for cow slaughter? Tomara vedete ache govadhe ravani. There is mention of cow slaughter even in your Vedas. There is the Gomed Yajna. Ataiva govadha kare bada bada muni. Big munis and priests, they are sitting where in sacrifices where cows are slaughtered. There is a mention of cow slaughter also in the Vedas. There is Gomed Yajna where the cow is killed. Now Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will respond. प्रभु कहे वेदे कहे गोवध निषेध अतएव हिंदू मात्र ना करे गोवध. प्रभु कहे वेद कहे गोवध निषेध अतएव हिंदू मात्र ना करे गोवध. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that according to Vedas, govadh is forbidden. One cannot kill a cow. Therefore, Hindus do not kill cows because according to our Vedic scriptures, we cannot kill cow. See, this is very important. We must understand our scriptures properly. We must understand Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Srimad Bhagavatam very well. Otherwise, we cannot engage in debates and discussions. We cannot. One can just fall for such trap. What the Qazi said seems to be a very valid argument that yes, there is Gomed Yajna in the scriptures. But one has to understand. In today's day and time also, there are some people who are famous, they debate on TV, YouTube, and they quote, being from other religions, Anya Dharmavalambi, they quote from the Hindu scriptures. Hey, your Upanishads say like this, Gita says like this. They quote this verse, this text, thing. It says like this, and then they will substantiate their position using the Vedic scriptures by quoting. But if you analyze, they are completely misinterpreting the Vedic scriptures, completely misinterpreting. And we can figure that out. We can detect those misinterpretations if we ourselves understand our scriptures properly. On the surface, Chandkazi's argument seems solid that there is Go Hatya even in the Vedas. That's why Lord Buddha appeared 2000 years ago, more than 2000 years ago, isn't it? We all know that. That was the reason that people were using the Vedas and killing cows. That's why he came and taught non-violence. But see, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will give the correct understanding. Mahaprabhu completely flat out, straight out denies the proposal of Chandkazi that there is a provision for cow slaughter in the Vedas. He says, no, you're wrong. Prabhu kahe, Vede kahe, govadha nished. Sorry, Chandkazi, you're wrong. The Vedas do not allow killing of a cow. Govadha nished. Ataiva Hindu matra na kare govadha. And therefore the Hindus you will see do not kill the cows. Now Mahaprabhu will explain. Then what about Gomed Yadna? I will explain. Mahaprabhu says, listen carefully. जियाइते पारे जदि तबे मारे प्राणी वेद पुराणे आचे हेन आज्ञावाणी. There is no provision for killing the cow. There is a provision for rejuvenating the cow. Hari bol, there's a difference. Hare Krishna. There is no provision for go hatya. There is provision for rejuvenation. Jiyaite. Jiyaite pare jadi tabe mare prani. You can kill the animal if you can give it a fresh, youthful body. Jiyaite. That is mentioned in Vedas and Puranas. That is the Ved Purana Agyavani. Not killing, rejuvenation. Haribol. So subtle. Killing is happening, but the killing is immediately followed by rejuvenation. Chandkazi is only seeing the process up to killing. He is not seeing the latter part, that there is rejuvenation immediately. This is how people argue. They cherry pick what they want. They have selective information. What will suit their argument. But when we are well versed in Shastra, when we understand principles of Nyaya, then we can engage in debate and discussion. Ataiva jarad gava mare munigan Veda mantre siddha kare tahara jivan. Haribol. Therefore, in Gomed Yajna, Ashwamed Yajna, and other animal sacrifices, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Ataiva, therefore, Jarad Gava, a old cow is brought. Jara Avastha means old. Jarad Gava means old cow is brought. Mare Munigan and the Purohit, the Ritvik, who is performing the Yajna, they will kill that old cow. Veda mantra siddha kare tahara jivan. And they will chant Vedic mantras and they will bring that old cow back to life in a new, rejuvenated, youthful, healthy, fresh body. Jarad Gava Haya Yuva Haya Aravar. ताते तार वध न है हय उपकार. Haribol. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Jarad Gavahaya. They bring an old cow who is suffering from different ailments and yuva hai. And immediately that old cow is made into yuva, into a youthful cow. Tate tara vad nahe. Therefore, my dear Kazi, it is not go vad, it is go upakar. Human beings will pay thousands of dollars to a doctor who can bring a person back to youth. If someone says, I can make you 20 years old. Now you're 46 years old. I'll make you 20 years old. Oh, out of pocket, I will pay. Isn't it? Plastic surgeons are paid out of pocket. Many procedures they do, they're not covered by insurance, but people pay out of pocket for little cosmetic procedures. And here in the Vedas, a completely refreshed, new, youthful body is given to the cow. So it is not go vad, it is go upakar. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu corrects. What a subtle point Mahaprabhu caught. Very beautiful. Kali kale taiche shakti nahi ka brahmane ataiva govat keha nakare ekhane. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in Kali Yuga, there are no longer such powerful brahmanas who can chant the Vedic mantras. They don't have the necessary purity, they don't have the necessary knowledge of Chanda Shastra and Vedas, and they cannot pronounce the mantras in the proper consciousness with the proper pronunciation, and they cannot rejuvenate a dead old cow and give her a youthful, new, fresh body. They don't have that Shakti, they don't have that power. Therefore, Govad, killing of the cows and sacrifices, na kare ekhane. It's not allowed in Kali Yuga. Kali Kale, it is not allowed. Because no longer we have such powerful Brahmanas. Therefore, animal sacrifices, cow sacrifices are forbidden in Kali Yuga. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, immediately to substantiate his point, he is quoting from the Shastra, Shri Brahma Vaivarta Puran, Krishna Janma Khanda, chapter 185, text number 180. अश्वमेधम गवालंभम संन्यासम पलपैत्रकम देवरेण सुतोत्पत्तिम कलौ पंच विवर्जयेत. Shri Brahma Vaivarta Puran, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's quoting, tells us that five activities are forbidden in Kali Yuga. Kalau Pancha Vivarjayet. Five things should be given up in Kali Yuga. What is that? Ashwamedham, horse sacrifice, killing of a horse. Gavalambham, a Gomedh Yajna, a cow sacrifice. Number two. Number three, sannyas. Sannyas is also to be given up in Kali Yuga because it is very difficult to follow the principles of sannyas in Kali Yuga. Palapaitrakam, offering the pitris, the ancestors, oblations of flesh. Meat cannot be offered and therefore meat cannot be eaten. Devarena sutotpattim. In emergency, having a child from the husband's brother, as was done in Mahabharat on the order of Mother Satyavati. Bhagwan Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasadev was called from Badrikashram to Hastinapur, and in Ambika Ambalika and the Dasi, Vyasadev had three sons, Dhritarashtra, Pandu, and Vidur. There is a provision for that, but only up to Dwapar Yuga, not in Kali Yuga. Because in Kali Yuga, our mentality is very contaminated. In those days, people were very self-controlled and they would just do it as a service and never see the face again. But in Kali Yuga, we don't have that purity. Therefore, Devarena, from the Devar, Suta means child, Utpatti, to produce a son from the Devar by a woman is Vivarjayet, is not to be done. So these five things are forbidden in Kali Yuga. And among them is Gavalambham, cow sacrifice. So quoting from Shastra, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has substantiated his point. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so always there is a point is raised, you respond to that point, and then you propose another point. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has very nicely defeated the argument of Chankazi that in the Vedas and Puranas there is provision for killing of cows. Completely wrong. Mahaprabhu, first of all, it's not killing, it is upkar. It is giving a rejuvenated body to the cow, and that also not in Kali Yuga, because such powerful Brahmanas are not there. And now Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to put a new point. तोमारा जी आयते नार वध मात्र सार नरक हईते तोमार नाही को निस्तार. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Tomara jiyate nar. You people, you kill animals. You kill the cows to eat their flesh. But you cannot give them a new life. You cannot give them a fresh, youthful body. Jiyate nar. You cannot. Therefore, what you are doing is vadha matrasar. It's only killing of the animals. Therefore, naraka haite tomar nahika nistar. Therefore, nobody can save you from going to hell. गो अंगे जत लोम तत सहस्र वत्सर गोवधि रौरव मध्ये पाचनी रंतर. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, as many hair are there on the body of a cow that you slaughter, that many thousands of years you will have to go to a hell called Raurav, and there you will be punished for the sin of killing the cow. Govadhi, person who commits Govad goes there. A cow slaughterer has to go and suffer in a hell called Raurav for as many years, thousands of years, as there are hair on the body of the cow that you killed. तो मास बार शास्त्र करता सेह भ्रांत हैला ना जानी शास्त्रेर मर्म, ऐचे आज्ञा दिलं. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says the problem with all of you is that you all don't have a proper Guru Shishya Parampara system. There is the book, but there is no Guru Shishya Parampara. People read and they give their own interpretation, and these interpretations are often fallacious. Bhranta Hela. Whereas we have a Guru Shishya Parampara. So the pure, pristine knowledge is preserved in the Parampara. Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Raja Rashayo Vidu. Whereas in your case, you have a book, but there is no Guru Parampara system. And therefore, people say, do anything. And na jani Shastra Marma. They are not able to understand the essence of Shastra. They are not able to understand the Quran. In Mahabharat, in a conversation between Yudhishthir Maharaj and Shripad Narad Muni, it is said that तर्को प्रतिष्ठा श्रुतयो विभिन्ना नाशौ ऋषिर्यस्य मतं न भिन्नं धर्मस्य तत्त्वं निहितं गुहायां महाजनो येन गता सपन्त. Unless and until you do mahajano in a gatha sapanta, you follow in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. In other words, unless you are in a parampara, you cannot really understand. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam. The essence of dharma remains secret, remains hidden. Na jani shastra marma. You all don't understand the essence of the Quran because you don't have Guru Parampara. And people who are Bhrantahila, people who are confused, they give their interpretations. Because spiritual knowledge has to come in a parampara. It's like someone saying, I became a surgeon by watching YouTube videos or by reading surgery textbook. No. One has to accept discipleship under a surgeon. One has to become a student and must accept a surgeon as a mentor to learn and become a surgeon. That's what Mahaprabhu is saying. Therefore, you people are confused. And it's simple logic that if we cannot give something, we cannot take it. There's a story from the life of Lord Buddha. Lord Buddha was once going from a village to village to preach the message of ahimsa. Ahimsa paramo dharma. He was going and wherever village, whichever village Lord Buddha used to go, practically everyone would surrender to him. He had such effulgence, he had such tej, such power, such purity, such a profound message. So in one village, he made everyone practically disciple, and then he was going to the next village. But on the way, there was a notorious robber. So one disciple told Lord Buddha that please do not go to that village because you will be attacked by that robber in the forest. And the robber is very dangerous. So Lord Buddha asked, what can the robber do? The disciple said, he will kill you. And Lord Buddha said, no one can kill me. I am the spirit soul. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन. And then Lord Buddha entered the forest to go to the next village to preach the message of non-violence because people were misusing Vedas. They were committing animal sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas without having the power to rejuvenate and give a youthful, healthy body to that animal. They're simply doing animal sacrifices to eat meat. So Lord Buddha was going to preach, and sure enough, on the way, that robber accosted Lord Buddha and said, "Stop!" Lord Buddha kept walking. The robber pulled out his sword and said, "Stop," I said. And Lord Buddha kept on walking. This had never happened before. Anybody the robber confronted would start practically falling on their knees in fear. He was so powerful, the robber. First time he was seeing that someone is not afraid of him. So he ran and came in front, right in front of Lord Buddha and said, "Stop!" And Lord Buddha, without any tinge of fear in his eyes, looked at this robber and said, "I have stopped. When will you stop?" And then kept walking. Lord Buddha, he didn't stop, just went around and kept walking. "I have stopped. When will you stop?" And this robber had never received such a reply in his life. Generally, people would say, take whatever you want, leave me, let me go, don't kill me. And here Lord Buddha said, "I have stopped. When will you stop?" And kept walking. So these words kept ringing in the ears of the robber. "I have stopped. When will you stop? I have stopped. When will you stop?" So the robber asked Lord Buddha, "What have you stopped and what do I need to stop?" Lord Buddha smiled and said, I have stopped pursuing my material desires. I have stopped violence. When will you stop pursuing your material desires? When will you stop violence? And this robber, he was so affected by the purity of Lord Buddha that he fell at the feet of Lord Buddha and became a disciple. He became a disciple. So, this is important that we understand from the sadhu. Otherwise, one cannot understand the scriptures. We can become completely confused. So, that's what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, that you don't understand the essence of dharma because you are not in a parampara. शून्य स्तब्ध हैला काजी नाही स्फुरे वाणी विचारिया कहे काजी पराभव मानी. The Kazi could not respond to this. He could not break the arguments of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this robber who became a disciple of Lord Buddha, he asked Lord Buddha that, please, I want to become your disciple. Can you guide me? Lord Buddha said, yes, go and bring a leaf from that tree. So this dacoit, he went and he jumped up and he plucked a leaf from the tree and brought it to Lord Buddha. Lord Buddha took the leaf and gave it back to the robber and said, now put it back exactly where it was. The robber said, that's not possible. I already plucked the leaf. I cannot put it back. Lord Buddha said, something that you cannot reverse, you should not do. If you cannot give the leaf back to the tree, you should not pluck it. Therefore, don't kill people. Don't attack people. Don't take their life because you cannot give them life. Therefore, Lord Buddha was teaching and preaching non-violence. So Kazi could not defeat the argument of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nahi Spurevan. He didn't know what to say. Mahaprabhu's arguments were so perfect. No, in the Vedas and Puranas, there is no provision for cow killing, there is provision for cow rejuvenation. And because such Brahmanas are not there who can chant the Vedic mantras with such potency, in Kali Yuga, one doesn't do animal sacrifices. And Mahaprabhu quoted the verse also. So he could not do anything. And he realized that Kaji Parabhavamani. He accepted his defeat in that Vad, in that debate. Kazi accepted his defeat from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. তুমি যে কহিলে पंडित से सत्य है आधुनिक आमार शास्त्र विचार सह नय. The Kazi told Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that what you are saying is true. I accept my defeat. I accept my defeat. कल्पित आमार शास्त्र आम्ही सब जानी जाती अनुरोधे तबु से शास्त्र मानी. I accept that your scriptures have very sound philosophy, Shabda Brahma, and I am not able to defeat your arguments with my scriptures. आर एक प्रश्न करी शुन तुम्ही मामा यथार्थ कहिबे चाहे नावांची आमा. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after Shankazi accepted defeat, told him, my dear mama, my dear uncle, maternal uncle, I have one more prashna. I have one last question for you. And we have come to the end of our presentation also. Please answer truthfully. Chale na vanchibe ama. Don't cheat me. Don't lie. Tell me the truth. I want to know from you the answer to one question. তোমার নগরে হয় সদা সংকীর্তন বাদ্য গীত কোলাহল সঙ্গীত নর্তন. In your district, there is always Harinam Sankirtan. People play musical instruments, they sing, they loudly do tumultuous kirtan with dancing and singing. তুমি কাজী হিন্দু ধর্ম বিরোধে অধিকারী এবে যে না করমানা বুঝতে না পারি. You are Hindu Dharma Virodhi Adhikari. Kazi, your purpose is to propagate Islam and oppose Hindu Dharma. But my question to you is today, why you are not opposing the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Why you are not stopping Harinam Sankirtan? Ebe jena kara mana. आप मना क्यों नहीं कर रहे हो आज? This I am not able to understand. भुजिते ना पारी. So many people have come, they are doing Harinam Sankirtan. Why you are not opposing? Why you have told your soldiers to wait inside the house? Why they are not opposing the Hindus? काजी बले सभे तो माय बले गौर हरी से नामे आमी तो माय संबोधन करी. Kazi said, "My dear nephew, everybody calls you Gaura Hari. Is it okay if I also address you with that name, Gaura Hari?" So suddenly Kazi has become very soft now. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu poses this question, today why you are not stopping the Nagar Sankirtan? He says, my dear nephew, I would like to call you Gaura Hari because all your followers, they call you Gaura Hari. Shuna Gaura Hari ei prashnera karana nibritta ho jadi tabe kari nivedana. Kazi said, my dear Gaurahari, listen to the answer to your question. But I would like to respond to your question in a private place, Nibritta. Just you and me, not in front of all these people. Please. Now see what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does. This is very important lesson for all of us. प्रभु बोले ए लोग आमार अंतरंग है स्फुट करी कह तुम्ही ना करी हो भय. Chan Kazi wanted to separate Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from his followers. Nibritasthan. Let's both of us go sit in a solitary place and I will respond to your question. Why I am not stopping the Harinam Sankirtan today? Sri Chaitanya said, no. E loka amar antaranga hai. All these people you see, thousands and thousands of people, they are my personal associates. They are my inner circle people. My inner circle is very big. Sputakari, very clearly, crystal clear way, you tell me. Kaha tumi. Speak clearly, very candidly. Na kari ha bhai, don't be afraid. Tell me the answer to my question. So what is happening is sometimes in a debate, in a discussion, some manipulative people, they try to separate and create division between groups of devotees. I will tell you, but don't tell that person. Come here, I'll tell you. They do like that. No, we should not fall for that trap. Mahaprabhu did not get divided based on the request of the Qazi. He said, no, no private talking. These are all private people. Antaranga people. They are my inner circle people. Speak what you want. So now Kazi has no option but to say, Kazi kohe jabe ami Hindur ghare giya, kirtan karinu mana mridanga bhangiya. The Kazi responded that when I went to the house of the Hindus and they were doing kirtan, I forbade them from doing kirtan, mana and mridanga bhangiya. I also broke a mridanga in anger. शयने আমার উপর লাফ দিয়া ছড়ি अट्ट अट्ट हासे करे दंत कडमडी. That day I came and Shayane, at night I went to sleep. In my dream, a very ferocious creature appeared and he jumped on me. Amara upar laap diya chodi. He climbed on me, jumped on me on my chest and atta atta hase. He was roaring loudly, laughing loudly. Kare danta kadamadi and he was gnashing his sharp teeth, showing off his sharp teeth. Very fearful situation for me. মোরা বুকে নখ দিয়া ঘোর স্বরে বলে ফাড়ি মু তোমার বুক মৃদঙ্গ বদলে. That huge creature had the face of a lion and the remaining body was like a human being. He sat on my bouquet means on the chest, and he put his sharp, long, powerful nails on my chest. Bouquet nakhadiya and ghora sware bali in a roaring, fearful voice. He spoke to me. Harimu tomara buka. I will rip upon your chest. Mridanga badale. You broke the mridanga? As a revenge, I will break open your chest. मोर कीर्तन माना करिस करी मुतो रक्षय आखी मुड़ी कापी हामी पाया बड़ो भय. He said, you have forbidden and banned my kirtan? Kari muto rakshay. Today I will kill you. Akhi mudi, I was so scared I closed my eyes. Kapi ami, I started shivering and trembling in fear. Paya bada bhai. I was so scared. So scared. I was fear struck. भीतर देखी सिंह बोले हैया सदय तोरे शिक्षा दीते कैलू तोर पराजय. Seeing how scared I was, how I was trembling, how I was not even daring to open my eyes. This lion, Haya Sadai, he became merciful to me. He became merciful to me. And he said, Tora Shiksha Dite, I have come to teach you a good lesson. I have come to defeat you and teach you a good lesson. से दिन बहुत नाही कैली उत्पात ते क्षमा करी ना करीनु प्राणाघात. That day you did not create such a big disturbance. You did not hit any devotee. If you would have hit any devotee, I would have killed you. Se dina bahut nahi kaila utpat. You didn't create too much disturbance that day. Yes, you scared the devotees, you broke one mridanga, but not too much. You didn't break the house of the devotee, you didn't break many mridangas, you did not hit, physically assault any devotee. Bahuta nahi kaila utpat. You didn't do too much disturbance. Take kshama kari. Therefore, I am forgiving you. I am letting you go with a warning this time. Na karinu pranaghat. I will not kill you. I will not do pranaghat. I will not kill you because you didn't do too much utpat, too much disturbance that day. ऐछे जदि पुनः कर तबे ना सहीमु सौवंशे तुम्हारे मारी यवन नाशिमु. But Chankazi, if you do such an act again, breaking mridanga, giving fear to the devotees, banning my Nam Sankirtan, if you do that again, tobe na sahimu, I will not tolerate it. So Vamshe, along with your family, tomare mari, I will kill you and I'll kill all your family members. Not only your family members, mari yavana nashimu. I will kill all the yavanas also, your supporters, your followers, your soldiers. I will kill all of them if you do such an act again. So, Shri Nrsimha Dev Bhagwan ki jai. He let Chandkazi go with a strict warning. Eta kahi simha gela amar haya bhoy. Ei dekho nakha chinha amor hridhay. And he opened the buttons of his kurta and Chandkazi showed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I'm telling you the truth. That lion went away with a strict warning and I still have the nakha chinha. I still have the marks of his scratch marks of his terrible, strong, powerful, sharp nails. And he opened his buttons and showed his chest. And sure enough, there were claw marks of the great Sri Nrsimhadev Bhagwan. एत बलि काजी निज बुक देखाइला शुनि देखी सर्व लोक आश्चर्य मानिला. In front of everybody, he opened his kurta, and on his chest were the claw marks of Sri Nrsimhadev Bhagwan. And when all the devotees they saw, they were so happy that Vigna Vinashak, Bhakti Vigna Vinashak Sri Nrsimhadev Bhagwan had in fact protected them. কাজী কহে ইহা আমি করে না কহিলা সেই দিন আমার এক পিয়াদা আইলা. He says, I never told anybody about this incident. What happened that night when I broke the mridanga. I didn't tell this to anybody. But that night, the next day, one servant of mine came to me and he said, আসি কহে গেলু মুই কীর্তন নিষেধিতে Agni ulka mora mukhe lage achambite. And this soldier of mine, this servant of mine came and told me that based on your yesterday's farman, based on your order from yesterday, I went in the town. We soldiers went and we tried to do kirtan nished. We tried to forbid and ban the kirtan and make sure that nobody is doing kirtan. But as soon as we approached a party of devotees who were doing kirtan, Agni ulka mora mukhe lage achambite. Suddenly, my beard caught on fire. My face got burnt. My beard caught on fire. তাহা দেখি রহিনু মুই মহাভয় পাইয়া কীর্তনাবর জিহা ঘরে রহত বসিয়া. I got so scared that I left that place of the devotees. I didn't say anything to them. I didn't ban them or anything. And I came and I took shelter of my house. And this same thing happened to all other soldiers also. Chandkazi is telling. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All my soldiers who went next day, because I didn't get time to tell them not to stop the devotees. It happened at night, and in the morning, my soldiers were already gone to stop the devotees from doing kirtan, and their beards caught on fire as soon as they approached the Sankirtan party. So they all came back and they hid in the house. And then finally, Chandkazi says, Hindura Ishwara Bada Jai Narayan, say to me, how hena lemoraman. Finally, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was glorified by Chandkazi by saying, Hindura Ishwara Bada Jai Narayan, that supreme lord of the Hindus who is called Narayan, say to me how. Hena Lay Moraman. My heart says that Lord Narayan, the supreme deity of the Hindus, is you. Say to me how. That is my conclusion. That, oh, Shri Gaura Hari, you are Lord Hari. एत शून्य महाप्रभु हासिया हासिया कहते लागिला किचु काजी रे चुनिया. Hearing this conclusion of Chankazi, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu smiled and laughed. And he told Chankazi something, Kajire Chunia. Chunia means Chuya. He touched the Kazi. He put his hand on the Kazi's lap, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said something. তোমার মুখে কৃষ্ণ নাম এ বড় বিচিত্র পাপ ক্ষয় গেল হইলা পরম পবিত্র. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, you just took the name of Narayan. You called me Gaura Hari. You chanted the name of Hari. This is great wonder that a sinful person like you has chanted Krishna Nam. Therefore, Papa Kshay Gela. All your sins are gone and you have become completely pure. Haila Parama Pavitra. You have become very purified now. All your sins are gone just because you chanted the name of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, confirming the potency of the Sankirtan movement, these words from the very mouth of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu express how people can be purified simply by chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna. In the interest of time, I will rush through it a little bit because we are running out of time. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy that Chankazis uttered the name Narayan, Hari, Krishna, like that. हरि कृष्ण नारायण लैले तीन नाम बड़ भाग्यवान तुम्ही बड़ पुण्यवान. Aha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Gaur Hari told Chankazi that while conversing with me, you took the name Hari, Krishna, Narayan. These three names you took, Tina Nam, Bada Bhagyavan Tum. You are very fortunate, Kazi, and Bada Punyavan. And you are a very pious person now because you chanted Krishna Nam. एत शुनि काजिर दुई चक्षे पड़े पानी प्रभुर चरण छुई बोले प्रिय वाणी. Hearing this encouragement from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Kazi was purified of all his sins and he was a very pious person now because he chanted the name Krishna Hari Narayan, Kazi became very happy, very relieved, and in joy he started shedding tears from both his eyes. Dui chakshe, both his eyes pade pani. Tears started flowing from both his eyes, and Prabhura Charana Chui, he touched the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Bole Priyavani, and very sweetly he spoke, Tomara prasade mora guchila kumati, ei kripa karo jena tomate rahu bhakti. Chankazi said, Tomara prasade, by your mercy you came here and you had this discussion with me. By your mercy, Mora Ghuchila Kumati. My bad intelligence. There are two types of intelligence, Sumati and Kumati. My Kumati Ghuchila. Kumati is gone by your mercy. Tomara Prasade. Ei Kripa Karo, my dear Gaura Hari. Now, please give me this last benediction. Jena Tomate Rahu Bhakti. That let me become a Gaur Bhakta. Let me become your devotee. Just give me this benediction. Prabhu kahe ekada na mage tomai. संकीर्तन वाद जैचे नहे न दियाय. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I would like to ask you for one more thing, Chankazi. You please promise me that Sankirtan will never be banned in Nadia. Give me this benediction. I want to ask you for this one favor, that Sankirtan should never be banned in Nadia. You see, Chankazi is being so respectful. He wants to become a devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He touching the feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's shedding tears. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu still is saying, I want to ask something from you. Mahaprabhu is not saying, I order you, I command you. No. Mahaprabhu, because he accepted him as his uncle. Kaji kahe mora vamshe jata uppiji. Beg your pardon. काजी कहे मोर वंशे जत उपजीबे ताहा के तालाक दीब कीर्तन ना बांधीबे. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, please give me this promise that no one will ban Sankirtan in Nadia, Chankasi said that I promise you, I will never ban Kirtan. In fact, in my Vamsha, in my family, in my lineage, whoever appears, this is my great admonition, talak diba. I am giving this admonition, I am giving this instruction, Kirtan na badhibe. Don't create any obstacle to Harinam Sankirtan. Srila Prabhupada writes in this final purport of this section, as a result of this grave injunction, talak, by the Qazi, even at present the descendants of the Qazi's family do not oppose the Harinam Sankirtan movement under any circumstances. Even during the great Hindu-Muslim riots in neighboring places, the descendants of the Qazi honestly preserved this assurance given by their forefather Chand Qazi. शुनी प्रभु हरि बलि उठिला आपनी उठिला वैष्णव सब करी हरि ध्वनि. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this assurance from Chankazi that he and his descendants will never ban Harinam Sankirtan, Mahaprabhu said, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Hari. Mahaprabhu said that and he uthila, he got up. And when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got up, all his associates, the thousands and thousands of devotees, they also got up. Uthila Vaishnav Sabha. All of them got up and all of them loudly started chanting, Hari Hari, Kari Hari Dhvani. कीर्तन करिते प्रभु करिला गमन संगे चले ऐसे काजी उल्लसित मन. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left the house of Chankazi with his associates while doing Harinam Sankirtan, and Chankazi accompanied Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sange chali Kazi. Chankazi, he went with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Ullasitaman, with a very happy mind, enthusiastically participating in Harinam Sankirtan. That Kazi, who couple days ago had banned Harinam Sankirtan, is now enthusiastically participating in Harinam Sankirtan. This is the effective preaching of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kajere vidaye dila Shachira Nandan Nachite Nachite Aila Apana Bhavan. After some time of dancing and singing in Harinam Sankirtan, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Kazi, okay Kazi, now you can go to your house. Kajere Viday Dila Shachiranandan. Sri Shachinandan Gaur Hari told Kazi to go back and Nachite Nachite Aila Apana Bhavan. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, happily dancing and dancing, came to the house of Sri Jagannath Mishra and Shri Shachi Mata. Ei mate Kajire Prabhu Karila Prasad. Iha jai shune tara khande aparad. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj writes that in this way Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave his mercy to Chankazi. Chankazi was an incarnation of Kamsa Mama. Kamsa Mama became Chankazi Mama in Gaur Leela. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, in Dwapar Yug, Kamsa could not become a devotee. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is such a great personality, Saba Avatara Sara Shiromani, Parama Karuna Pahudvijan Nitai Gaurachandra, that even Kamsa Mama, King Kamsa, became a pure devotee in Gaur Leela. Hari Bol. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave mercy. Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Ravan, Kumbhakaran, Shishupal, Dantavaktra also became pure devotees chanting 2 lakh names every day. As Jagai Madai became Jagadananda and Madhavananda Prabhus by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is the beauty of Gaur Leela. Everyone becomes pure devotee. In this way, Kazi, who was Kamsa Mama, got the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Karila Prasad. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj says, Iha jai shune. One who hears this narration of Chand Kazi getting the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Tara Khande Aparad. All their offenses will be destroyed. Hari Bol! जय जय अंश कहे शुने से धन्य आचिरे मिलिबे तारे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य. जय जय अंश कहे शुने से धन्य आचिरे मिलिबे तारे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, anyone who hears even sections of this pastime, of this chapter, that person is very fortunate. Anyone who hears Gaur Leela. And such a person, very soon, Achire, will obtain Milibe Tare Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Very soon, such a devotee will be united with Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates. Hari Bol! Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय, श्री गौर हरि की जय, श्री गौर सिंह की जय, श्री गौर नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय, श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, श्री गिरिराज गोवर्धन की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, इस्कॉन ऑफ राउंड रॉक की जय. थैंक यू वेरी मच डियर डिवोटीज. हरे कृष्णा. जय जय श्री राधे श्याम.